Welcome back. We are on episode 3. We are back with Kelli from Children's Miracle Network, and we are just having such a good time. And Kelli, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about Maverick and teaching people how to have miracles. So talk about that.
Yes, I love inspiring people to believe in miracles, but more importantly, go create miracles for those around them, because that's truly what it's all about. And I had the most amazing opportunity in 2014 to meet a child from Wyoming. He's from Wyoming. I'm from Wyoming. He was born June 11th. I was born June 11th. He loves the Boston Red Sox. I love the Boston Red Sox. Well, Maverick has had over 40 surgeries, including 5 open heart surgeries. And one day when Maverick wasn't feeling very well, I reached out to my friend who played first baseman for the Boston Red Sox when they won the World Series in 2004, and asked him if he could get a video from Maverick from his hero, David Ortiz, otherwise known as Big Papi, one of the best home run hitters in the game. And 2 hours later, I had a video from David that said, "Maverick, stay strong, keep the faith, be positive, and I'm going to hit a home run for you tonight." Well, fast forward a couple hours. It's a beautiful night at Fenway Park, and the Boston Red Sox are playing their rival, the New York Yankees. Big Papi steps up to bat the first time he strikes out. He steps up to bat the second time he strikes out. He steps up to bat the third time he strikes out. He steps up to bat the fourth time. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. The game is tied 2-2. He's up against one of the best relieving pitchers in baseball, someone he's never had a hit off of his entire career. And he hits a game-winning home run for Maverick. Now, at that point, I'm in my bedroom, and I'm on my knees because I was praying for a miracle, but I knew what that would mean for Maverick. And the next thing I know, I have a video from Maverick that says, "Big Papi, you never let me down, and I'm going to try my hardest to get to Fenway Park to meet you." And within 2 weeks, I was on a private plane from Cheyenne, Wyoming with my little man for him to meet his hero and for him to throw out the first pitch.
That's so cool.
And the moment that they met will forever be etched in my mind. Big Papi walks in the room, and little Maverick, 6 years old, just looks up at him and is like, "Big Papi." And then they embraced. And I cried, and he had the home run ball that he'd hit for him in his hand because the fan decided to give it back.
Oh,
Are miracles real? Should
That's so
Big
cool.
Papi have hit that home run for Maverick? Odds were against him. Home runs in Major League Baseball aren't that easy to hit, but he did it, and he acknowledged help from a higher power. I was so blessed to be a little tiny part of that miracle, but I was just a little tiny part. There were nurses, there were doctors, hospital staff, everybody that had come together to get Maverick to a place where he was even healthy enough to go to Boston to meet his hero. The day that I actually reached out to Kevin, I had only done that because I saw him with Big Papi on Instagram, because I'd been trying to get this video for months. But I happened to get it that day, and he happened to hit the home run that night. I'm just like, and that's what my book is about. It's the miracle of Maverick. 100% of proceeds benefits Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
Oh, wow.
But I really just want to inspire people to know that a miracle is possible in your life, but also know that other people around you need miracles too, and you can be a part of that. One little tiny action can create the biggest miracle ever for someone who needs it most.
It's such a powerful story about Maverick.
It is. Made me cry.
So I went to medical school at Oral Roberts University, which is a Christian school in Oklahoma. And he was a faith healer. And whatever you think about primetime religion, and even when I was there,
Prime time?
I was a bit ambivalent about it. Right, because, televangelists and all of that. The part of seeing miracles is really powerful. But what happens and how do people stay the course when they pray for a miracle and it doesn't happen?
Right.
I
And
love
because
that
I worked
question.
in a hospital, I also worked in a Christian. I went to a Christian college and worked in a Christian hospital, and we
At
saw
Loma
miracles.
Linda,
We saw
right?
miracles every day for sure. But one thing I had to learn, because it was a hard place to work. I worked in a level A trauma center. I floated a lot to the children's side, and the children were the hardest for me, by far the hardest for me. They were also the most. They were also the most special, right? When you see those miracles happen, but I had to learn how to see miracles even when it was bleak, right? You have to learn how to see that sometimes when it doesn't go the way you think it should go. And that's not an easy thing to do sometimes.
I think about this a lot because of the 10 million kids that we treat, they don't all make it.
Right.
But I do believe that God has a perfect plan. For instance, I have a little friend named Jacob who passed away 2 years ago when he was 19, and he had spina bifida, and he was in constant pain for 19 years.
Yeah.
Yet Jacob put a smile on his face every day. He couldn't talk much, but his eyes lit up a room. And I think the miracle was that he was here for as long as he was, and he lived out his life's purpose while he was here. I think we want to know why some people have a longer plan than others, but I know that it's all perfect. I know there's so much perfectness in the pain.
Yeah, and a book that I read, and I think you read as well in college, was "Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People?" It was a really good book. But for me, without faith, I would not be able to to have seen what I saw and be able to walk away without being bitter and angry. So for me, I had to have that faith piece. I think, other people don't, and that's up to them. I couldn't have done it without that, but because I needed to be able to see that purpose. There has to be a purpose for me. There's got to be a purpose for someone's pain and suffering. Otherwise, what are we doing? We have to be able to use that for something else. And it's a hard thing. So when you see a mother on the floor screaming, it's not an easy thing to watch. So, but to be able to see that and somehow use that for a bigger purpose, somehow believe that there's something else is an important thing.
And the people that work at children's hospitals are so special.
Really.
I have an 8-year-old granddaughter who has a genetic microdeletion syndrome, and at the age of 5 months started having wicked seizures. And the syndrome she has, she's still not really talking, and intellectually she's probably around 2. But
She's very special.
Is she not perfect? She's absolutely perfect. And she has required so much help from speech therapists and physical therapists and neurologists, and finding a way to support the hospitals that support the
She wouldn't be where she's at without that.
Our lives is just
and that's a good
important.
point, because I see Emmy's progress as a miracle. They said she would not live, and then they said if she ever did walk when she lived, that if she did walk, she would not walk without a walker, and it wouldn't be until she was 5. She was walking without a walker by the time she was 2. She'd never talk. She's beginning to make words. These are all miracles for sure.
Yeah.
So it's very special, actually.
Well, I have a 23-year-old nephew, and he's nonverbal. He's not potty trained, has tuberous sclerosis, severely autistic, 24/7 care the last 23 years. And for so long, there were prayers that he would talk, or that he would be able to communicate. But at the end of the day, he's a miracle that he's here and that we get to be in his presence, just like Emmy, right? She is a miracle and perfect the way that she is. We might wish it could be something different, but she's perfect.
Right.
And I want to be there one day.
We bring our attention will determine how we feel. So if we see it as a deficit, we will feel it's unfair. But if we see the miracles day in and day out, we'll feel miraculous. But it's also important to know these families need a lot of help, that they need a lot of care. And the more we can support these hospitals with organizations like yours, the better we all are as the human race. So,
and it makes us feel better to know we're doing
when
something
we come
special.
back, we're going to wrap this up, but mostly, Kelli, I want you to think about a couple more of your favorite stories.
Those are just heart-wrenching.
Because stories is where it's at for humans. Stay with us.
If you're enjoying the Brain Warriors Way podcast, please don't forget to subscribe so you'll always know when there's a new episode. And while you're at it, feel free to give us a review or 5-star rating, as that helps others find the podcast.
If you're interested in coming to Amen Clinics, use the code podcast 10 to get a 10% discount on a full evaluation at amenclinics.com. For more information, give us a call at 855-978-1363.